It's a huge night for us over here at Verbal Tap, the show that proves fighting is easier from outside the cage. It's our 30th episode here to preview all things UFC 162. I'm Kevin. With me, of course, Raf Esparza. Raf, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Kevin, the more important question tonight is not how are you doing, as in you, Kevin.
Yeah, I got who you're talking about.
It's how are you doing, special guest John Evans?
I'm actually doing fantastic, Raf. Thank you so much for asking.
It's so nice to have you back on the podcast, almost as if we don't need Kevin.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like that. And if you're new to the show, this type of hijinks is common. Raf is attempting to replace me with a more knowledgeable, better-looking co-host. But I don't think it's going to happen. Not tonight, at least. But we do thank you, John, for joining the show. As always, you can find us over on iTunes, VerbalTapCast. Please leave a review. You can also go to VerbalTapCast.com. You can see things like Raf publicizing other podcasts he's doing that are about fitness, me reviewing War MMA, and occasionally we'll throw up some things that John Evans is doing over at, what was that website? I'm having trouble remember.
It was bjjbreakdown.com.
Yes, where you are doing a noble service for the jiu-jitsu community. You're reviewing fights and giving us sort of a higher level breakdown of what's going on in the competitive jiu-jitsu world, right?
That is the goal. Hopefully, hopefully that is also the result. So, but I will let you guys be the judge. You can check it out, bjjbreakdown.com. Shameless.
It's okay. We're way more shameless than you are on branding. But Kevin, can I tell you something about branding?
Yes.
I just saw this guy's business cards, and they are immaculate. He has his own logo for BJJ Breakdown, and it looks like two hands are coming in to help, and like United Way, where it's like the cupped hands that you see all the time that go, "Hey, welcome."
Yes.
These hands are not helping you. What's happening in this logo, John?
Those hands are shoulder locking you with a
Those
Kimura.
hands are shoulder locking you.
It's amazing. I'm instantaneously jealous of his logo. So please do yourselves a favor and go see the friendly and inviting BJJBreakdown.com logo. It is worth your time, people.
I'm already going to be Googling it just to head over there and see if I can scare myself out of sleeping tonight. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. Raf, would you like to explain to Mr. Evans the game we have created?
Yes, we have a great game that we're going to play with you, John. Are you? What's the matter?
Well, I don't know. I come here. You're a little bit of a loose cannon. You're drinking a Bud Light,
yes,
and you've got this tone with me. It makes me a little uncomfortable, and now there's a surprise game.
And he's, of course, talking to Raf because I'm drinking a Coors Light. Otherwise, all of those things could have also applied.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I drinking the official sponsor of the UFC?
Am I drinking the official sponsor of the Mountains?
Am I eating the official corn snack of the UFC?
Not now, John. Wait, what's the official corn snack of the UFC?
It's corn nuts.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
The corn snack.
I would no.
Sorry.
I'm breaking the third wall, fourth wall, whatever the bullshit it is. He is not at all eating corn nuts. This is lies and nothing but untruths being
But
told.
how often do you get to say the official corn snack of the UFC?
No one gets to say that, and it is ridiculous. I grant you that.
Beautiful.
But I am legitimately drinking the official drink of the UFC. That's Bud Light.
Welcome to Front Street, John Evans, where Raf will call you out on your business.
Yeah. You can tell he's drinking a Bud Light by my bruises.
It's getting nice and live. Explain the game, please, if you would, Raf.
The way this game works is, John, we're going to throw some new topics at you. They're news stories that have happened within MMA or the UFC. We need you to give your responses in 7 seconds or less to each of these stories. Do you think you can do this?
Am I
Judging from this response, I'm a little questionable on if we can pull this off.
Maybe if we raised it from 7 to 30 seconds.
Do we want to give him 30, though?
No, I didn't even want him on the show. You worked that little gem, so you have to deal with the consequences.
All right, deal. Let's give him 30. Let's
Okay, I
see.
have my stopwatch right with me. I mean my stop iPhone, but I'm ready.
My iPhone stopwatch.
So is this like a? Am I supposed to just name the first thing that comes to my head, type of thing, like an association?
It's part that. It's also going to be, what are the first things that come to your brain? What's your analysis? You are known for bjjbreakdown.com and giving astute analysis, but the question is, can you do it in 30 seconds or less for topics that you may or may not be familiar with?
And I'll remind you, brevity is the cornerstone of all wit.
So this is not grappling or fight related necessarily.
It is fight related. They are fight related.
They're fight related. They may not be grappling related.
Wait, fight related, but it could be anything. Like Anderson Silva stubbed his toe, like nothing having
Could
to
be
do
just
with
like
the
that.
fight.
Yeah, that could actually be a topic. Sure.
Okay,
Do you think you could do this?
is that a topic?
Boy, you're killing it
telling
so
you.
far. You're bathing the audience in confidence with your ability to
I know,
swing
the
it.
audience right now is just
Wait,
like,
wait,
I
wait.
don't think you can do it.
Before we start the 30-second game, can I get 2 minutes of clarifying questions?
This is all news to me, and so I'm a little nervous. But all right, I'm up for the challenge.
Excellent. Kevin, are you ready for this?
I'm already ready. I'm already cracking up at our mockery of his 30-second ability. So yeah, I'm ready.
So, do you want to start us off with the first one?
I'd love to. Cage Potato's front page right now has a picture of John Jones with his thumbs down, sort of saying, forget you, and Ronda Rousey flipping us off. What do you think was happening when that picture was taken? 30 seconds, go.
Go.
They found out that they had a love child, and John Jones didn't want to stay with her.
Boom. You know what? That one was actually 7 seconds exactly.
It's pretty good.
I do hate to rain on his parade, but surely, well, now you got me thinking maybe that's what happened. But we would know if they had a love child. If anything, because, hey, she's allowed to fight every 9 months. I think we'd know.
Astute analysis, Kevin.
Thank you. That's why they pay me the big bucks. In my opinion, by the way, they were so blotto drunk that somebody was like, say hi to the camera, and they were like, I gotta out-ego the person I'm with, and it ended up just looking like a college frat party with 2 professional fighters.
Excellent.
Okay.
Was that a fact, or was that just you were guessing?
Oh, no, I don't do facts. I mean,
Oh.
come on, John. What, did you want me to do some research? Let's,
Okay, so you're asking me questions that we don't have the real answers to.
Some of them we kind of have the answer to, but sure.
This is a fantastic game so far.
You're not helping. Do you think that Bob Barker ever had to deal with this on The Price is Right?
I don't think Bob Barker was ever this drunk on The Price is Right.
You take that
Oh,
back.
how dare you.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it's rubbing off on me, his anger.
Bob Barker, or...
Yes.
Raf, would you like to tackle the next topic?
Yeah, I'll go there. Vidor Belfort says he doesn't need to fight Gegard Mousy. He just deserves the next title shot against Anderson Silva. Your thoughts?
I don't know who Gegard Mousy is. If he's anything like Gegard Mousasi, then... yeah, I mean, he's been in the game long enough. I would say he doesn't really need to fight him, but... you can't really pick your fights, so Gegard is definitely a worthy opponent, and Vitor is getting up there in age, so.
Ha! Joke's on you. You spent more time talking about me mispronouncing the name than actually doing analysis. Fool you!
We just hit 30 seconds. I was actually impressed. I was like, and there's 3 seconds to be insult-worthy, which is, I think, a particularly good indication that our brand of humor is rubbing off on you because of your precious time. You took a few to be negative and funny.
Yeah, no, it's definitely you guys are having a really negative influence on me. So
I just like that Vitor Belfort's getting a little chippy,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like he's there. It's like, Vitor, you did have a good last fight, but let's not get crazy.
with the kick, is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about with the kick, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you get lucky with the kick, and then that's it, title shot right away. Bam.
That's right. Hey, I spinning back kick someone into mild obscurity, so I'm back. Okay, I'll tackle the next one. Anderson Silva, and this is going to be tough to say in 30 seconds, John. Anderson Silva says that John Jones is better than him, that he would beat him, essentially, and hints that he is a younger version of him, meaning John is a younger version of Anderson. What is your comment?
He's not better than Anderson Silva, but he is a much better athlete than Anderson Silva. He would definitely beat Anderson Silva, in my opinion, but not anywhere near as technical and really not a younger version of him.
I'm going to ask you to expand because we have 15 seconds. Yeah, where's the younger version of him? Their games are very different.
Extremely different. Anderson Silva's pinpoint accurate striker, as to where John Jones is just, he can touch you from across the cage with his monkey arms.
Your time has stopped
at
monkey arms.
Well, I'm glad we ended on monkey arms.
But not being.
Oh, no, sorry, John.
All right, no
the game
qualifiers.
The game is 30 seconds. Yes, he does have long limbs. He can kick
the longest
and touch you from
in the UFC, even longer than Stefan Struve, who's 7 inches taller than him, something like that. So I didn't mean that in necessarily a derogatory way.
No, of course. We totally interpreted that.
But his arms are extremely long, freakishly long.
They are. Like, he has a reach. That was perfect. All right, Raf, would you like to tackle the next one? I think we both agree pretty much. Actually, that was pretty good analysis.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's wait. Let's save our applause till the end.
Okay.
All right, next prompt. Dana White says he'll give more money to the underpaid fighters by doing away with bonuses.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Time begins.
Time begins. Dana White says he'll give more money to underpaid fighters by doing away with fight bonuses.
I guess I like that. Fight bonuses are pretty subjective, and I think all the fighters are kind of underpaid anyway, except for the top tier fighters. So, arbitrarily giving some random fighter you're like, hey, fight of the night or submission of the night is kind of, it's not the best way to pay out your fighters. If you could just raise their base pay quite a bit more, that would be preferred, I think, and more even.
Follow-up question. If that's the case, then do fighters have less to fight for if there is no knockout or submission or fight of the night bonus?
They do, but you have to remember, too, if you are not a fan favorite, there's no system for the belt with the UFC. If you beat one person, that doesn't move you up in the ranks necessarily. Dana and whatever the guy's name that makes the fights, Joe Silva? Yeah. They're the guys that choose the fights. So if you just bore the crap out of the audience and keep winning fights, they don't have to give you a title shot. So it's still on you to make the fight exciting. And if you are more exciting, you get more known to the fans and greater likelihood of sponsorship. So
I've already pointed out that your 30 seconds has expired, so I will move on to I agree. I think it's always good if you can distribute it, but, it's going to be time to start paying these guys regardless. Chael Sonnen got married. What do you think his vows sounded like?
Wait, is this true?
This is fact.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Married
that.
his longtime girlfriend and smoking hot lady.
Oh, really?
This is the part where I'd say her name if I could remember it, but I do know he got married.
I thought it was Brittany or Bethany.
So what was the actual question again? What did he say in his vows?
Yeah,
what
do you
think
vows?
his vows sounded like?
It would sound like maybe like a WWE monologue.
No. We need you to give an example of what you think.
Give an example.
Mm-hmm.
20 seconds.
I normally would, but I, sir, am no Chael Sonnen. So I can't.
Boo!
I can't.
This is the worst response you've ever done.
He's like trying to mimic him. Oh no!
I'm gonna play a
He's too
little
good.
ping pong.
He's too good.
So let's just remember that at this moment, John Evans tapped out. If only I knew someone who had a large head and did a fairly good Chael Sonnen impression. Raf, if I give you 15 seconds, John's remaining 15 seconds since the moment he declined, do you think you can come up with some vows?
Hey there, Poindexter. Yeah, I got it all covered if you just want to go ahead and give me the mic.
Oh, here's the mic.
Okay, now are we doing this 15 seconds?
Yes.
All right, let me know when we're going.
Time begins now.
I just want to say to whoever I'm standing next to right now, I think her name's Brittany. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is she's marrying the main attraction. You can't get no satisfaction if you don't marry Chael Sonnen. And that, my friends, is a fact. Now, I'm going to do one more rhyme. I didn't have one there. It's called Love and Marriage Goes Together Like a Horse and Carriage. And this, I tell you, friend, is the Married with Children theme song. And I'm out. 15 seconds. Boom. Chael Sonnen.
It was 36.3, but worth every 20 seconds of our overtime.
Right. At Chael Sonnen time, that was 15 seconds.
Beautifully done. Nice job over there, Team LA.
How did Raf get Chael Sonnen to come on the podcast?
It's hard to believe, right? Yeah, and it's weird because I have to kick Raf off to bring on all of these different guests, which can be really hard.
Now, what did you think about Chael when he walked in?
He was beautiful.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
And you could just feel the charisma.
You wanted to be like, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be on your honeymoon?
I just found out he was getting married, so that's
John's like, what honeymoon? You just barely got out of the reception. Okay, it's been announced, and Raf, you're going to have to help me explain this one.
Yeah, I got you.
Josh Rosenthal has been sentenced?
To 37 months in federal prison with no possibility of parole. Why no parole? Because he helped grow more than $6 million worth of marijuana and got caught.
Now,
John
I want to be
Evans.
clear. I'm pro-weed, but this is shocking. That's a lot of weed.
It is a lot of weed. I mean, if you do the math, that's a lot of dime bags. Now, John Evans, what is your response to this?
What the hell does $6 million worth of pot look like?
Probably like Uncle Scrooge's money bank.
Like,
but just
where was he hiding this? How could you ever grow $6 million worth of pot and expect to get away with it?
Who does the evaluation for $6 million worth of pot?
I just don't even understand.
The luckiest lab tech in the world.
You couldn't even promote that. You would have to take an aerial photograph to show people that you had all the pot. How could you be inconspicuous with that?
Dude, I'm pretty sure that's like $6 million right there. I don't know. Just someone go next to it. Take a picture of it.
Dude, let's go buy $6 million worth of Cheetos and just hang out.
That's the best joke Kevin's ever done. Don't do the official.
I'm sorry.
You are not eating the beer.
Official corn nut. Yeah, not even the corn snacks.
What a rare thing for John to feel passionate about. Not even his own website, www.bjjbreakdown.com. No corn nuts, the official corn snack of the UFC.
Well,
what did it beat out, though, to become the official corn snack?
I don't know, Bugles, maybe?
Oh, definitively Bugles. All right, you two jet setters, or maybe you're driving.
That plan, I guess, was, it went up in smoke, I guess.
Hey! Yeah.
None of you can see the look that I am exchanging to
He
John.
really lit his chances of becoming a primetime referee on fire.
You can't see the look I'm giving Kevin either. But it's all disappointment all around.
It's okay. He got sentenced, so now he's going to the joint.
What the fuck's wrong with you? When did this become amateur hour?
Well, by my count, 20 minutes ago, that is when the show started. Let's move on to UFC 162, where the main card is debuting this coming Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman in the main event.
Oh, they're on this one?
Oh, yeah. They just got added at the last minute.
Okay. Driving me.
We're going to that one, right?
We are going to that. Yes.
That actually sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm drinking my beer and ignoring you for 30 seconds, so somebody better start talking.
Hey, that's great. You know the best part about not going with Kevin, though, is that I'm going with you. You are so much more of an upgrade.
Okay, fuck it. I'm fine. Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman.
Keep that 30 seconds of pouring your own beer into your mouth because you got so hurt about it. It's cool.
I chose interrupting you over finishing my Taste of the Rockies. Brought to you by Coors Light.
This podcast is not brought to you by Coors Light. Let's stop that right now.
No, just that specific one that was. Okay. I gotta tell you guys, I'm starting to buy into the hype. I can't tell if it's just the commercials, but I'm starting to think the wrestling of Chris Weidman and his general propensity towards liking the fight close and staying tough is going to be a really good fight for Anderson Silva.
Okay.
You
do you see him beating?
No, I don't.
But you said you were buying the hype. So
I'm buying the hype that it's going to be a good fight.
Get a receipt with it so that you could return it?
Well, my initial reaction when I heard Chris Weidman was fighting Anderson Silva was, okay, that sucks. That's super boring. Yeah. Chris Weidman's going to get knocked unconscious with some sort of kick. I no longer feel that way. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a good fight?
I'm very much looking forward to it because I do think that at the very least, Chris, and I keep wanting to call him Weidman, so I'm going to keep doing that because I feel it's fun for me. But I feel like Chris has at least promised that he's going to go out guns blazing. So at the very worst, he's determined to give us a good fight. So I feel good in that aspect. Do I think that's a reality? I'm not quite sure.
And are you ready to choose who you think is going to win?
Oh, I would never bet against a Jedi.
How can you? How can you?
A Jedi that sees the Matrix and lives in our time and breathes our air, I don't know what to do. He's too good. I am interested in maybe going up to people on the streets of Vegas and asking them to bet me on the spot if they'd take Chris Weidman over Anderson Silva. But I don't know. John, your thoughts?
I actually think Weidman, is that... I don't know. That's
go with me because if you say
otherwise, it's
once,
a Rosenthal reference.
I actually think it is Weidman.
I don't know. I get a little self-conscious every time I say it because
I'll stick with you. Right?
Yeah,
we got this.
All right, cool.
Weidman, he is. I think he does have the tools to beat Anderson Silva. I think he can make it happen. Probably nearly as efficiently as Chael Sonnen had the chance to, at least in that first time.
Yeah.
I mean, Chael Sonnen had him beaten. He just made a ridiculous mistake at the end.
Yeah.
But I think that is the Achilles heel of Anderson Silva, is the grappling. If you can get him down, which is not too hard to do, doing it without getting knocked out is a different thing entirely. But if you can get him down, and if you are a superior grappler, and his grappling is not fantastic. I know people that are not in the know on the jiu-jitsu side hear that he's a black belt, which honestly doesn't mean anything. It's really an individual thing, completely individual. So some black belts are phenomenal, and some are not very good. And I'm not saying that he's not good, but he's not going to be like a Damian Maia, where...
Who is?
Yeah, exactly. Who is? Where your world champ status black belt. There's a huge difference between those from a regular black belt and a world champ black belt. And he is definitely not world champ material. So if a really good grappler could get him down and hold him down and use his superior grappling to either submit him or ground and pound, I think that's definitely, everyone's shown. Even Travis Lutter nearly beat him. An out of shape, couldn't make the weight cut Travis Lutter went in there, and Travis Luter's a very good grappler, but he's never won a world championship.
So let me ask this, because essentially everyone says if Chael had not made that mistake, Are you guys believing that Chris is sort of a, I'm just going with Chris to avoid the last name discrepancy, just a younger version of Chael Sonnen? Do you feel like that's an accurate assessment of his talents? Though, clearly more gifted at jiu-jitsu.
He is more jiu-jitsu oriented, but I don't know. I wouldn't really compare him to Chael Sonnen necessarily. Like, Chael's wrestling is very good, and he is more of a grinder. I haven't seen enough of Weidman because he hasn't fought in a while, right?
It's been about a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time. And the last time I saw him, he put in a cracking performance against Munoz, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And Munoz is good, and he made him look not so good.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to tell. When he's on, he just ruins people, and you just don't know if those people are on the level of someone like an Anderson Silva, or maybe they're just so below someone like Anderson Silva that.
Let me say this, and I'm going to pose this question to Raf first. We believe Anderson Silva to win this fight has to do it via strikes, and do we think he has to do it early?
Did you want me to answer that one?
Oh, I was going to Raf.
Oh, sorry.
I was more shocked that John had the ability to look me in the face after you said, well, I'm going to ask Raf, and John goes, I got that for Raf. I was like, that's some ballsy moves there, John.
Spiked my coconut water.
Yeah, it's completely me. Mm-hmm. Here's what I'll say. I think it does have to end for strikes via Anderson Silva. I think that's just the way I see him winning this. It may not necessarily be that way, but I don't necessarily see Anderson Silva submitting him, which I think is something a couple of us would probably agree to. The craziest thing about Anderson Silva is I think that just in his boxing and his ability to stand up and strike, there's going to be a difference. And if he really just comes in and has a focus and gets a good couple clean shots with some good angles, yeah, we're talking early in the 5-round fights. But I don't know. I see it maybe being a little more competitive. For the past 2 days, I've been thinking either second or third round.
Interesting. And I'm going to keep with the same things. John, the later this fight goes, does it favor Chris? Does it favor Weidman? Or do you think Silva is always Silva, no matter what round we're in?
Well, I pretty much agree with Raf. I think he's just a superior striker. He's dealt with good grapplers before, unless Weidman has a really great game plan, which I hope he does, and just attacks on the takedowns and tries to get it right into his game right from the get-go and continues to do that for the whole fight. I just see Anderson Silva, we've seen it in the past too, he'll be avoidant, and then he'll pick his shots, and then he'll eventually end up knocking him out. Or even if it goes on, we've seen real boring Anderson Silva fights where Dana would come to the press conference afterwards and just say that this is horrible. He basically danced around and didn't want to lose. And we could see that again. I don't put that past him. His style, he doesn't want to take punishment, as no one should, but he's good at avoiding, which can look boring, and then he picks his shots. So, if he uses that and that stops Weidman from getting in on him, then it could go the distance, and then Anderson would take a real close decision, I would think.
Now, Kevin, I've got some interesting news for you. Being the investigative journalist that I am, I have something to bring to this podcast right now.
I'm stoked to hear it.
Okay. So Chris was recently on the MMA Fighting Hour with Ariel Helwani, and he brought a photo with him that he has hanging on his refrigerator. Would you like me to read what the photo says?
Please read this, yes.
Okay. It's a picture of Anderson Silva with his hands on his hips in the cage, and it says, I, Chris Weidman, or Weidman, whatever I refer to myself on that day, will defeat Anderson Silva on July 6, 2013, and become the UFC MW Champion of the World! ! There are asterisk bullet points here. They are, work hard every day. Although from this writing, it looks more like a day. Eat healthy. No excuses. Refuse to lose. And this is my favorite. Physical, mental, and in all caps, spiritual.
I like it. I guess I really wish, I kind of hoped it would say something more eclectic, like the keys to beating him, or like, don't forget to have a good laugh every day.
Right.
Make time for my friend Karen. We're always saying we should get coffee. Let's just get coffee. I kind of wish they were more like that, because it's a little too, it's hard to root against a guy that just writes really emotional things on his Anderson Silva poster. It's got to be weird, right? Fighting someone that you grew up watching as like your Michael Jordan of your sport.
Sure, but I mean, at some point that gets tossed out the window. I think for here, the funny part to me is when you look at that picture, there is stuff that looks like it could be cut off here. So, Kevin, you might be entirely right. There may be like a grocery list of things that he may not, have given to Ariel because he's just like
spiritually.
Spiritually, I'm gonna go to whatever religion he goes to and then be better at him at that too. My favorite thing over here is this is it's been posted a few times on different sites, but we're going to our friends Tap Nap Snap Your MMA Recap, and they have a commenter who made me laugh with this that says, "Pictures don't hit back." It has one like to it, and
good. I'm glad it's only one.
Exactly. Dick move. I love the idea, like, that was what he thought he was going to contribute was, I'm going to show Chris Weidman. Pictures don't hit back. Send. I'm a genius.
Prove me wrong.
Exactly.
Prove me wrong. All three of us are looking forward to Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman. Well, that's worse.
Weidman is great.
Yeah.
We're going to start to rapid fire through these next fights, which
Let's
just means, hone it in down to 3, maybe 2 minutes. Frankie Edgar versus Charles Oliveira.
Let's go Edgar.
Yeah, right?
John, do you have anybody else that you're going for? Where do you see this?
Do you know anything about Chucky?
What's up?
Do you know anything about Charles Oliveira?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the Brazilian guy. Like, doesn't his nickname in Portuguese mean like from the hood or something like that?
Ooh, I may have to change my vote.
That did it. Raf's heard enough.
He's the up and comer. I mean, now I guess he's been for a while, but the one that's throwing on those quick, vicious submissions, from what I remember, and he is definitely very dangerous. But Frankie Edgar. Honestly, I mean, after moving down, like, I still think he is one of the best, or maybe the best at 155. I think he got screwed out of some decisions.
Agreed.
And then
which decisions are those, John?
And then but they were all great fights, and I don't think that should take him out of title contention. And even if he lost, he's still right there. There's no definitive winner, I think. But anyway, so they moved him down to 145. And then, I think he's with Ricardo Almeida, like the whole Renzo Gracie, Matt Serra camp out there.
Yeah.
A really good grappler, underrated, and I just don't see him losing this one.
If you had to bet, would you put $20 on Frankie Edgar or Charles Oliveira?
Definitely Edgar.
Okay.
Definitely Edgar.
Yeah, and I think the 5 rounds versus 3 rounds is going to come in big. Because when was the last time Frankie Edgar fought a 3-round fight? His condition's already top-notch. He's going to feel that confidence to go as hard as he wants at any time.
Absolutely.
Now, Kevin, I'm excited to ask about this next fight because I might have been responsible for putting this fight together.
You're responsible for Tim Kennedy versus Roger Gracie?
Yes.
How? Please explain how so.
Okay, so let me take you back to a great time. August 2012.
That was a great time.
It was a great time. I was at UFC on Fox 4, the open media workout. I get a chance to pull Roger Gracie aside, and I'm like, yo, Roger, my man, tell me about Tim Kennedy. And he talks to me as a Gracie would. No, actually, he was really quiet and very short and succinct. But he was mentioning how Tim Kennedy made some comments about him on Twitter and how he was like, yeah, I totally want to fight him. And lo and behold, somebody decides to put that together, and you're welcome, America. I'm glad I could play a role in putting that fight together.
Well, I wasn't excited about this fight, but now I'm elated about
You
this
should
fight.
be. It's as if VerbalTapCast is presenting you this fight.
And who is... Are you too close to it to pick a winner? Do you feel like it's kind of something you've raised since it was in its infantile stages, or are you prepared to choose
Kevin,
favorites?
I, as a true journalist, keep a level of objectivity. So
Obviously.
I choose not to ever state my preferences. Now, I might be putting money on one of them.
Uh-oh.
But physically?
No. What do you think?
That's
I'm
not
going to
gonna
make it
help your fight
rain on one of them?
What?
He's had a couple beers. I don't know what he's saying anymore.
I just love that. I already had. I've had one beer, John.
But you're
Evans.
thinking about that second one, aren't you?
I'm not. I'm thinking about your coconut water.
This is thrilling radio.
Jeez,
It is
Look out,
thrilling.
podcast fans. They're
But
having
anyway, as I'm saying, honestly, and you guys can disagree, I just always side the jiu-jitsu guy, so I really want to see Hodger win.
I don't know. I think I'm going to err on the side of Mr. Kennedy.
Caution.
Yeah, I'm going Kennedy.
It's a great note. I mean, Kennedy's kind of a wild card.
We know Hodger's, been a competitor for a long time. He made the natural switch, but I'm going to go with some TK.
That's
Mr.
fair.
Evans, do you have a favorite?
I do. I have to say, I have to preface it first with, I think Tim Kennedy, other than maybe King Mo is his toughest fight. He hasn't maybe had the toughest of matches just because he was warming his way up to the whole MMA thing, fighting people like Kevin Randleman and people that he stylistically matches up very well with. But fighting with King Mo, you saw he got knocked out pretty quick, and or at least finished. So he does not. I don't know if you know much about Roger Gracie, but he is not very athletic at all, despite his really tall frame. I think he's 6'4", 6'5", something like that. He's very, very tall, and he cuts a bit of weight so he can make it down to 185 just because of his size. But he's not athletic, not an athletic bone in his body. He cannot move quick at all, and he really does his jiu-jitsu well in spite of his physicality. Of course, being long, it creates a better lever for leverage.
I am going to have to ask you to pick a fighter at this juncture.
So, Roger Gracie, no. Having said that, he doesn't deal well with more physical fighters that are good at striking. Tim Kennedy's strength is the grappling and his work output, and I think Roger will deal with that pretty well and submit him.
Okay, we've got 2 votes Hodger, 1 vote Tim Kennedy. We're finishing out the card here. Mark Munoz versus Tim Boach.
I think he botched that.
Nice. I'm going to go with Mark Munoz, so I can say I'm going with Eminem, but you guys feel free to
You're
pick
stupid.
other fighters.
Have you seen the pictures of Mark Munoz yet?
I've seen, there's some tattoos, right? Am I thinking of the right one?
No. Do me a favor, when you get a chance, go look it up. It's pretty impressive. I'm
I
actually
looked
gonna.
at the pictures right before I started. I must not have committed them to memory, Raf.
Well, the
Welcome
reason
to
why
Front Street /VerbalTap.
the reason why I'm asking, and I'm actually showing this to our good friend Mr. John Evans here, he's undergone a ridiculous amount of weight loss.
Really?
Look at this photo that I am showing you of Mark.
Oh, wow.
Kevin, if you have a chance, I would Google it right this second.
That's
and you tell
insane.
me what you think about what he's been up to in the time since we've seen him last.
He's not in the same weight class then, is he?
No.
Oh, what was he? Was he light heavyweight before?
I actually, at that point, thought he was heavyweight. Where right now, he went from 261 pounds to 199 on June 27th.
So does he cut down to 185?
Yep.
Oh,
so it looks like he
goodness.
is going to 185 at the tender age of 35 to be cutting down that kind of weight.
Wow.
Kevin, your responses to that?
Damn. Look at that. That guy got cut. No, this is absolutely not who I was thinking of, by the way, with the tattoos comment. This guy did some... You think this is Atkins? Is this that Subway diet I've heard so much about? What do you think this is?
You know what it is? It's all of the diets, all in one.
Oh, someone isn't eating any carbs. So
and here's the thing.
I stick with Mark Munoz as my pick then.
I think
he's hungry. I know he's hungry.
He's definitely hungry. Let's not question any part of that. This is what he wrote on his website, which I thought was interesting. He's battled through injury, self-doubt, depression. I turned to food for comfort, and what I found was more heartache. A never-ending cycle of eating because I was sad and sad because I was eating. Which, by the way, at this point makes him essentially an Austin Powers character, but I digress. He continues on by saying he had to find a peace and comfort in my faith in God, and he helped shape my life. I guess what the takeaway here is, Mark Munoz is coming with a vengeance. And I just think for that, maybe if it off balances him a little bit, but even when he was fighting at that weight, he had a lot of power to him. So I'm really interested to see how he fights after dropping this much weight.
I'm certainly ready to see someone. I can't think of another time that I've seen a weight loss like that dramatic.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And so, hopefully this is a great fight. It'd be a nice return to form for him. So I can't root against that.
So you're going Mark Munoz.
Yep.
Mr. Evans, decision time, Munoz or Bosch?
Wow, he just doesn't even look like the same person. That's unreal. Good for him. Man, I always thought Mark Munoz, if you look at his wrestling pedigree, like he's just always underperformed in the UFC. Mm-hmm. Even when he does well, it nearly feels like he's just not able to do what he should be doing. So maybe the new Mark Munoz will be, especially at a lower weight class where he should have been the whole time, evidently. Man, he could be a real terror there. I'm going to go Munoz because I think Bosch kind of just gets pushed along the ranks and also underperforms a little bit, but he hasn't had anywhere near the dramatic transformation as Munoz.
That's 3 votes M&M. Cub Swanson versus Dennis Seaver, and I am going early for the German assassin, as I call him, Dennis Seaver. You guys are going to remember that I said this, maybe you both already know this about him. I've never seen someone throw strikes like Dennis Seaver does. He has a really weird style where he just keeps throwing elbows, punches, kicks, combinations, and he doesn't ever stop that throughout the entire fight.
It's a solid no. Seaver. I guess at this point I should just, to spite you, just pick Cub Swanson.
But the name is killing you. You don't want to pick someone named Cub.
No, not at all. I'd rather, pick like Bear Swanson or Ron Swanson. But Cub Swanson is just kind of like
Tiger Swanson.
Oh my God, I'd vote for that.
Tiger Swanson.
Tiger Swanson. Let's make that a reality. What say you, Mr. Evans?
Man, I don't know. I think Kevin's right about the Cub thing, and he also has palm trees tattooed on his stomach, which is just
the modifier was dangling. He's talking about Cub Swanson, not me, just so everybody's clear.
That is correct.
Oh, Cub Swanson has that too.
Yeah, I have oak trees. They're very specific and indigenous to my hometown.
Oh, okay. Yes, Bear Kevin. So I would say, I don't know, it's stylistically...
Go Seaver. Just go Seaver.
Go Seaver. Okay, Seaver.
Okay.
Boom.
Kev.
On the undercard, yes.
I've got a great idea for the undercard.
Okay.
Are you ready to do this?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say the fight. I'm going to say the fighters involved, and then I'm going to count to 3. And on 3, everybody says who they're picking.
I love this idea. It's a little schoolgirlish, which is probably what people are thinking at home, but I think it's going to be really good.
Kev. Fuck them, first of all. Second of all, fun, right?
Agreed. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, first fight on the undercard is going to be, And we'll actually go in reverse order. Chris Levin versus Andrew Craig. 1, 2, 3.
Chris
Levin.
What?
Oh. You don't want the redemption story of Chris Levin to come back?
Nope, I don't. I think he's probably going to lose.
Well, he's a friend of the podcast, so you should probably change your mind.
I choose Chris Levin.
Yay! No, I'm just kidding. Next fight is Norman Park versus Kazuki Tokyo Dome. 1, 2, 3.
Tokyo
Park.
Dome.
Park. Okay, next fight. We've got Gabriel Gonzaga and How the Mighty Have Fallen. Remember when he used to headline at UFCs? We've got Gabriel Gonzaga versus Dave Herman on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Gonzaga.
I'd like to see Herman win. But not by much.
Bad news.
Yeah. Did you even say one, John?
I said Nepal.
You said who?
Nepal? Nepal?
Nepal? Who the fuck's Nepal?
It means big nose. That's his nickname.
Is that really
In
what
Portuguese,
it means?
Yeah.
Why are you speaking in Portuguese?
Because that's his nickname.
You know clear well Kevin and I can't speak other languages, let alone English.
Showing off, party of one.
Yeah, exactly.
You can speak Spanish, right?
Yeah, close enough.
All right.
You can speak Spanish. Not on this, because this is America.
That's
In America, we speak English or American.
I only speak American. Next fight.
Edson Barboza versus Rafaela Oliveira. 1, 2, 3.
Barboza. And I'm the only one playing. This is a fun game.
You're so dumb. I can't believe you fell for this. No, I got to go for the guy who has Rafael in their names.
Yeah, that's why I went with Barboza. It was a no.
Oh, are you doing that because you hate me?
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
John, do you have any thoughts?
I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head who either of those fighters are. So.
Okay, you have to ask yourself, which do you like better? The name Barboza from like Pirates of the Caribbean or me?
Or Raf?
Yes.
Barboza.
Damn it! We've got two more
Not
on
that
the
he has
undercard.
insider info. He only does jiu-jitsu with you, ladies and gentlemen.
I know, it's really... that one's gonna hurt.
Are we also going to do the Facebook prelim?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Seth
Basinski?
Basinski, is that where you're going here? I think that's right. Basinski versus
I think you have to say it with
Ryan?
water. Basinski.
Oh my god, I love that you turn it just more Russian and drunk to try and get through it.
Goes with the oak trees.
Nailed it.
And Brian Malenkon?
Melancon?
Melancon.
All right, Melancon. 1, 2, 3, go.
Baksinski.
Whatever Kevin just said.
Even though saying his name has me feeling a little melancholy. You know what I'm saying?
I like that Kevin did say the last name of Seth with a little bit of like, in Mother Russia we have vodka and we drink to Seth Brzezinski.
Zinski. Old SBs.
Yep.
If I know
Next,
the Ruskies.
and finally but not least, we have Mike Pierce versus David Mitchell on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Pierce.
Mike Mitchell.
Mike Mitchell.
Look at us doing some predictions, and again, for up-to-the-minute coverage of UFC 162, you will have John Evans and Raf Esparza on location, just, doing some tweeting, keeping us going on how the Fan Expo is going.
We may actually even shoot a remote out there.
They might even shoot a remote out there. I'm so jealous. It's gonna be a fun fight card.
Yes, and we will keep you up to date, Kev. We're going to be in touch with you, so don't worry.
I'm stoked for that. It's time for really everyone's favorite part of the podcast, the end. Shout-outs. Would you like to start, Raf?
Yeah, I'll start. I would like to start with Eduardo Torres of the Results Will Vary podcast, who allowed me to come on recently to promote our podcast. He was so nice to let us do that and basically talk about it. It's a athletes and personal trainers kind of website, so why he wanted me is up in the air. But he was dumb enough to let me get on there and tell him all about our podcast that we do here, and he was really into it. He says he's a fan of what we've been up to, so he was very amicable about doing that, and I think we'll have him on at some point on the show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was the first time I've ever really done another person's podcast talking about VerbalTapCast without Kevin in this form. So it was kind of like, so what do you do on your podcast? And I was like, oh, on my podcast? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's all me. That jokester, Kevin, he's my sidekick. Let me tell you about being the main attraction. But he was super cool, and I really like what he does. Really easy format. If you guys get a chance, go check it out. It's at Results Will Vary. Go listen to it. Very, very cool stuff. And I think I was pretty funny on it. Other stuff to talk about. We've also always like to give our best to Valley Martial Arts Center. That is
VMAC.
Was that Outsiders inspired?
That was soccer inspired.
Interesting. How much soccer have you played, Kevin?
Once in 5th grade, I think I played a season.
All right, good enough. Good people at Valley Martial Arts Center. Actually, one of our people who goes there, her name's Ani. She came up to me and she was like, "Hey, you have a podcast?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Okay, I'm gonna listen to it." And I was like, "We've shouted you out." She goes, "No, you haven't. Shut up." So here we are doing it again, shouting her out. Annie, congratulations on listening. We're happy you are.
What's up, Ollie?
I even have John here to prove that I am talking about you. So there.
Yeah.
He's not.
Oh, damn it.
Speaking of John, let's give a big verbal tap thank you. John, thank you for joining us once again here in Livecast Studio.
Oh, definitely. I love being on. Thanks for having me.
Livecast Studio.
Livecast Studio. Okay.
No one knows what that means. I usually make up a word, an episode. BJJ Finder. Go check it out, people. They're responsible for keeping our website afloat. Look at the app. It's the world's premier Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school locator. All you have to do is plug in your address. You'll find Jiu-Jitsu schools all around you, and take it from the three of us jackasses. Jiu-Jitsu is probably the best thing about all of us. So go ahead, check it out, get started at a gym near you. If you're in this area, just head over to BJJ and MMA Academy out in Chantilly, VA. If you're in Maryland, no concept. That does it for me and my shout-outs. But please go over and check out bjjbreakdown.com, where you'll find John making it accessible for all of us to understand some of the more high practitioners of jiu-jitsu and what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. That's awesome. I lost
You want me to help
I
you
lost
sell
my
it?
words again.
Damn it, John
Where'd the
Evans.
words go?
Every time we get so close to the end of the podcast and we just lose it. We work so hard on training you.
I made it
Concentrating really
53
good this
minutes.
time.
Look, guys, if you want to go to a great website that tells you how to get better at the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what you're going to want to do is head on over to bjjbreakdown.com. But you're not just want to go there. You're going to want to watch the videos, participate, go on the forums, talk to John. He's very accessible and approachable and will answer your questions in a way that will elaborate the sport in ways that you've never even considered. All of this and more, go there. It's free. Utilize it. bjjbreakdown.com. And you're going to see me and John Evans this week at UFC 162. So you're going to get breakdowns of that. And when we rejoin you next week, we may even have a couple surprise guests to talk to when we are in Vegas. So
Already looking forward to those guests. Download us on iTunes. Visit our website, VerbalTapCast.com. That'll do it for us. An episode Verbal Tap 30. I'm Kevin. Thanks for listening.
good night and good 30.